She has beautiful, like, ocean eyes.
Now, if I turn the air conditioner on, it's kind of noisy.
Yeah, but we should be done before then.
Huh?
This is only like 15 minutes. It's short.
It's short.
So my first question was, how old were you when the Depression started?
The Depression started in the fall of 1929.
So you were 8?
Yeah.
What was it like?
What was it like? Well, the stock market crashed and people lost their savings, and it was just terrible.
Is it true that people used to go to the farm and beg for food?
Is it what?
True that people used to park at the farm and beg for food?
People from the city used to come out to the farms, yes, and they didn't beg for food, they just took advantage of. They figured the farmers had food because they had cows and chickens and stuff. But the farmers didn't have any income. Their crops, I think corn was about a nickel a bushel. And my dad used to take a box wagon load of corn to town, and it would be enough to buy each one of us a pair of shoes. And there was 5 of us. Back then, shoes didn't cost like they do today. Maybe $1 a pair.
Wow.
You want to ask some questions?
No, I don't have any.
Let's see what else. When the Depression started, were you living in the city or were you in the farm?
I was a child, 8 years old, and we lived on a farm that my dad rented. Had to give most of his crop to the landlord. There was very little left for us. And finally we gave up a year or so later and moved to town.
What was it like back then when you were about like my age, like 10 or 11?
I'm trying to tell you, it was bad. People didn't have money to buy groceries even. And but out on the farm we had chickens, so we had eggs, we had cows. But my goodness, you have to have flour and sugar and salt and stuff to go with it. But the fact that we didn't ever own a farm, my dad just rented. Why, most of what he got for his crops he had to give to the landlord. So he just gave up, had a sale, sold off everything. We moved to town in 1930. By that time I was 9 years old, in the 4th grade. And there were 6 of us. My oldest sister was 15 and I was 9, and my youngest sister was
Really?
2 years old.
Wow.
My 2 oldest sisters did not get to go to high school, but the other 4 we did. My sister just older than me, and my younger sister and my brother, we all graduated from high school.
What year did you guys move to Kansas City with Grandpa?
I got married in June of 1939, and we moved to Kansas City. Up until then, we had outdoor toilets and no water in the house. But when we moved to Kansas City, we rented a 2-room apartment, and we had water in the house. I gotta turn the air on. Will that make a difference?
Yeah, but we can ask one more question when we turn the air on.
I have a good one.
Alright.
What do you think was like the biggest, like, event that happened sometime in the 1900s.
My mother died in 1928, November 28. At that time I was 7 years old. That was the worst experience I ever had in my life.
How old was Millie?
A year, 18 months.
Wow.
That's sad.
You outlived them all.
I've outlived them all. And I've outlived all of my husbands,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
In order to go to high school, see, I was in high school in 1934 and 38.
Easy.
There was 5 of us girls that would come up here to the city when I was 15, 16 years old, and we worked in the homes over in the Country Club District as maids, and we saved our money and took it back home and bought our clothes and our books so we could go to high school.
Wow.
So I graduated in high school in 38, and there was 45 of us. My husband graduated from high school in 34, which was right in the midst of the Depression, and there was 28 of them. And
Well, I think that's it.
at the time Grandpa and I got married, he was making 25 cents an hour working in 1939, working at the steel mill, a 50-hour week for 25 cents an hour,
Wow.
and you're darn lucky to have a job.
How much was a loaf of bread?
Huh?
How much was a loaf of bread?
How much was what?
A loaf of bread?
You could buy a loaf of bread for a nickel,
Wow.
if you had the nickel.
If you have the nickel.
But the price of food, real estate, cars, and all of that, it's unbelievable how the prices back in the 30s and what they are today.
Mm-hmm.